Get yourself in a comfortable seated position. This is our first meeting of the Creative Life series. And I'll ask you to close your eyes and to go inside and simply notice for the moment how you breathe. How you put breath in your body. Without trying to change anything, but simply notice. I now will ask you to, as you inhale, bring the energy from the base of your spine up your back to the top of your head. And then as you exhale, imagine that energy coming down the front of your body, returning to the base of your spine. So you're inhaling up the back and exhaling down the front of your body, forming a circle of light energy. See if you can follow your breath each inch of the way as you bring it up your back, all the way to the top of your head on the inhale, and then down the front of your body again on the exhale. Notice if there are any spots that you tend to skip over, and let yourself pay attention each inch along the way, including every part of your energy field in your circle. Suggest, if you will, that as you follow the energy up, it is as though there were a gentle hand sending light and healing energy to every part of your body, up the back and down the front. Sending light and healing energy to every organ in your body. Suggest that this energy goes to where it's most particularly needed for you right now, this morning. Suggest that your intention in creating the circle of energy creates an aura of safety and receptivity for our work together. That you take in only what serves your highest good, and you also share and let out what serves the highest for everyone else. And then, if you would, breathe into your heart area and ask the question, what is it that I want the most for myself in being here? And listen to the answer of your heart. And suggest that your guidance supports receiving your highest, and also supports the same in everyone else here, as does their guidance support you. Just notice to whatever degree you are able to accept that suggestion, and suggest that we continue to grow in our ability to receive and give support in the highest. Then let yourself take a couple of deep and clearing breaths and bring yourself back relaxed, refreshed, alert, and receptive. Well, to say that I'm excited about being here this morning is probably the understatement of the year. This is a journey of self-discovery which we are undertaking together, the likes of which I have no comparison. And it is indeed a different journey every time. This is our 19th year of doing the personal integration program in the School of Spiritual Psychology. I never imagined myself doing something for 19 years in a row, except that it has been the highest vehicle that I know. It has been the highest thing that I've even heard of to support my spiritual growth. It is new every time, and it seems to build. It seems like we have something going here that is building, and it is because it's a creation of all of our spirits together. Every morning I try to do a little inspirational reading. And this morning I was reading a couple of paragraphs from the book by Thomas More called The Re-Enchantment of Everyday Life. The purpose of the book is, how do we get that enchantment back into our life rather than just grinding out another day? What really makes it exciting for us? And the last sentence that I read, I wasn't even going to read the last paragraph. One more paragraph, I'll finish it off. And the last sentence that popped off the page was that a new spirit is created every time a group of people choose to live creatively together. That almost knocked me off the chair, because it's exactly what I call the Creative Life series. It's our call to a creative spiritual community. It is People who are dedicated to putting creative thought, creativity, if you will, into every nook and cranny of our life. And I like to play with that synchronicity. You know, when you get messages from your cereal box, it says, yes, right on, keep going. And as excited as I am to be here, and as all the signs point to, yes, this is where I want to be, there's also fear. I also notice anxiety. Because I know it's not going to be a repeat of anything that's ever happened before. Each of us have called here to take our next step. It's not about getting a bunch of information that I have in my notebook here that you're going to fill your head with. And there's a few interesting tidbits, you know. But what you hire me for, and Kathy and Jill has come back to assist. Jill is in the third year of her program. Our function here is simply to help get the pillows straight and create a context for this birth to happen. We're here as midwives, as it were, to birth something new for every one of us. That's both exciting and scary. It's kind of like attending a birth, you know. It's like, will it happen? Will it come out safe and healthy? Will our new child have the life that she or he wants most? There's all of that, you know, anticipation, expectation that goes on. If there's anything that helps the birthing process, it's breathing. So I ask you to continue to remind yourself to breathe, in case you had forgotten, to remind yourself to breathe and to know that we are supported. We are getting support from more than just our little pea brains or our egos. The Creative Life Series is an opportunity for people who are committed to their highest to come together. It's a union of people committed to their highest. So as such, it's not therapy. We're not going back just to rummage into the old cellar and find nasty things and eliminate them. No, that may happen along the way. You know, it indeed can be therapeutic. But that's not our main purpose, as I see it. It's not an encounter group where we're here to challenge one another to look at your stuff. No, I don't myself find that to be the greatest growth motivation for me, someone being in my face. What I do find really challenging, though, and inspirational, is when I see someone else challenging their own stuff. When I see someone else willing to look at their fears and to breathe through them. Now that excites me, inspires me, and also scares me a little, because it's like, okay, Jimmy boy, if they can do it, how about you? You know, to take that next step. So that's the kind of challenge that I see promotes the greatest, first of all, bonding between us. The bonding isn't that we all are looking for some kind of a degree or certificate, or that we all went through the 60s together or something. The bonding is that commitment to tell the truth about why I came to this lifetime and to step into living my purpose now. This tends to increase a sense of aliveness as I do this. That's kind of the barometer that I know that I'm on the right track. It tends to turn the crank up a little bit for me, turn the volume up a little, and increase my responsibility. Now, I do not see responsibility as a duty or burden or more things to do. Responsibility for me means my ability to respond as a full human being. My ability to use all of my faculties, to live fully with all of what I have as an ordinary, common, garden variety, divine human being. Which is pretty special. That's what I look to have happen with our work. It's an opportunity for us to learn how to give and receive support on a higher level. We start from a different premise. The premise is that each of us is here to support the highest fulfillment and success of everyone else. Yes, we all have thoughts and fears, and we at times will represent for each other those limiting thoughts and fears. But that's part of how we work. We, in the face of our old patterns surfacing, can rise above the personality level and know that I would not have gone to all the trouble of inviting my mother to do this group with me, as that person might look, like who's sitting there across from me, or my brother, or my father, or whoever it is. I wouldn't have gone to all the trouble of inviting them unless it was time for another level of healing, unless it was time to see through the picket fence of the personality and get to what essentially is the truth about our relationship. And you know what? This person has volunteered to help me do that. I've invited this number of people because these are the number of faces of my challenge and my growth that I have elected to take this year. Each person has come here to give me something special. I think we did a pretty bang-up job if you look around. Yeah. Also, that the premise that we start from is this isn't about one person's got the truth and is going to lay it on others. The job here is to discover the source of truth within ourselves and to be both teacher and student for each other. So that's what both excites and scares me, is to be sitting in a room full of this many teachers. I have to erase my old fears of teachers and recognize that they are loving supports. Not the one that whacked me with the ruler in third grade. So that's part of the healing and the cleansing that goes on, is to learn how to live on this planet being fully me and fully creative and not crimping anyone else's style or having their style crimp mine. I believe that we have come here in this life to this planet at this time because unless we up the ante on how to do that, as a planet, we've got some serious problems. So our work, I believe, goes beyond our individual selves feeling better about who we are and living our purpose, or this group bonding and supporting one another. If we're truly doing our work, we are here for all of our brothers and sisters on the planet. So this has a ripple effect. Now, I learned how to tell the truth faster and have it be loving, direct, and effective. Okay, given these high and noble goals, what actually happens as we go through the year? Well, one thing that has happened for me, and I'm looking for again, is that our commitment in our group doesn't just happen here in this room. What I commit myself to has effect for the next 6.5 months, whether I'm in this room with you or not. I begin to feel a sense of support. It's like I've got a team. I've got folks that I can go back and talk to about this who will not immediately judge or criticize me, who have my highest good in their heart and mind. Again, even though fears and limiting thoughts will be there, that there's something beneath all of that. I begin to walk through life feeling a greater sense of support. Secondly, I tend to take on more in my life. Things that I feel that I couldn't have handled before present themselves as now not only possible, but pleasurable. I begin to get a little more elegant in how I do the dance of life. As I said, it increases that sense of responsibility, my ability to respond creatively rather than immediately seeing the limiting thoughts. And finally, what happens as a result of making this kind of a commitment to myself, because this is not a commitment to transformations or the School of Spiritual Psychology or Jim Morningstar, Kathy Golick, no, this is a commitment to myself. I happen to use this context and these individuals on my journey, but I never let the cart get before the horse. They're there to assist me. My commitment is to the divine within me, to fully live and embrace my purpose. And this now starts to make me feel a little more like I belong here in this world, on this planet. It's like to take ownership, rather than I'm kind of in a strange place trying to figure out how to do things here, just to survive and to get by. It's like, oh no, wait a minute. I feel safe in my body. This makes me a lot more resourceful. And it helps me look at the challenges of life not as hurdles that are thrown in my path in order to embarrass me or amuse the gods, watch me fumble around. That each challenge that I have come up with, I have the resources to deal with. And it's an opportunity for me to wake up. It's an opportunity for me to own something more than I thought I had. I begin to see that then as my daily fare and to look forward to it. I had a teacher who was kind of an extreme in this regard. He knew that fear was the boundary that keeps him limited, and that when he experiences fear, that is an opportunity to release or dissolve that boundary and to grow. So he said fear is fun in disguise. And if he went through a day without experiencing any fear, he thought he kind of missed the boat. So we learned to reframe a lot of things. And this was a pretty interesting chap, this teacher. He had actually never, in formal education, gone beyond the 3rd grade. Taught himself most everything in abandoned cars in New York City. Taught himself to paint, to music. Truly an inspiration as a creative human being. So it's smart, it's intelligent for me to surround myself with people who are similarly motivated. Oh yeah, I got the old I should be pulling myself up by my own bootstraps type of strain within me, that lone wolf American cowboy. And it is important to know that, yes, I am the one responsible entirely and solely for my life. And part of exercising my responsibility is being around others that support that. That's intelligent. So, how are we going to do this? Well, in the Creative Life series, we're going to, over the next 6 months, look at the major areas, the areas that have the most impact in our life, and we're going to infuse creative thought into each of these areas. We're going to spend the day doing it, supporting one another in that process. Today is spiritual psychology. The first Sunday in December is body mastery. We're going to look at the body as an energy conducting system, a means of communication, and a product of our thoughts. And you're not going to listen to me lecture about it. All of these days are going to be full with experiments, things that we do together to help tap the wisdom within us and to challenge and open the boundaries of fear. The first Sunday in January, we will deal with prosperity. And there we're going to look at what is genuine prosperity in our life. Yes, we will handle money. Money is only one aspect of prosperity, but it becomes a bugaboo for a lot of folks if they feel that money has power over their life. So we will look at how to own back that power and have money be our servant rather than our master. In fact, we'll play some games and do some things right here which will increase our abundance without the use of money at all. That each of us will potentially leave here with a greater sense of abundance and be able to use money effectively in our life. In February, our Sunday meeting is loving relationships. Here we're going to look at the basic premise that we come from in creating the relationships in our life and what we like about it and what we don't. And so there's a warning on the package here that this is, as I said, not just an inspirational type of group where we're going to come and rah-rah together. We're looking to actually change our lives. And so there'll be potential shifts in our relationships, strengthening the ones that truly support our purpose, and perhaps letting go of some others that do not, at least at this time, and attracting others into our life that really fit the bill, as it were, in terms of what our next step is. The Sunday after that in March is quite an extraordinary day that we spend together. It's called multi-level awareness, and here we look into other levels of our consciousness. Here we really find out that we are much more than we dreamt of. Very enheartening and expanding. And we do that not just to entertain ourselves, but to be able to access tools from other dimensions of our being that we can employ in our current life challenges. And final meeting in April is called completion, and our avowed intention here is to be able to leave our work together with a greater sense of completion in our life. Not that this is the end of the road. As a matter of fact, it's the very beginning. I mean, when I'm complete, it means like I got clear on why I've invited you into my life, what it is that I am here to receive, and what I'm here to give to you. And then we play. Because the job description of the divine human being is to play and create. Then we have all of our tools and clear about not getting in one another's way, but they're actually to do something greater than any one of us could do individually. Like aligning our energies by breathing together. We have the power to do something more than any one of us can do individually. If you look at etymology of the word conspiracy, it's to breathe together. So we're forming a conspiracy here, a holy conspiracy. It's to breathe together for the good of our world. Okay, well that's a prodigious undertaking. Today, I believe, is the foundation for all of this work. What we do here today will lay the foundation for everything to come. And it's called spiritual psychology. The first part of the day, we look at what is the basis of our personal spirituality. What is our relationship to our spirit? I jokingly say that by lunchtime, we want to have everyone enlightened or knowing why they don't want to be. Okay? So we got our work cut out for us. Then in the afternoon, when we come back, we're going to be dealing with our mind and mind mastery, because the mind has to be the servant of the spirit, not the other way around. And so the psychology that I teach is a spiritual psychology. It's a psychology that puts the spirit in the driver's seat of the mind. I made it my business to look at everything that comes down the pike over the last 30 years as a, quote, psychologist. And complexity is not the answer. Finding esoteric things that only certain people can do, I believe, is not the answer for our world. There is a truth within every one of us. When that is unlocked, our mind then becomes the perfect servant. Before that, we often feel the victim of our thoughts, our family programs, our cultural dictates, and so on. You will know that you've done some work by the end of today. I'm going to be frank with you right from the front. You will know that you have done some work, and it is worthy work. But your spirit will tell you about that worthiness, not me or Kathy or anyone else. Your willingness to lend your heart and mind fully to the work of your spirit will create a platform for the changing of your life, why it is that you personally came here.